Why do we consume so much coffee? Coffee is the second most consumed drink in the world, and the first thing millions of people do when they wake up is consume a cup of coffee. But what does coffee have in its composition that makes it such a widely consumed drink? What effects does coffee have on your brain when it is consumed? And what risks and benefits does consuming a cup of coffee every day have for your health? All these questions and many more will be answered in this video. Well, let's go to what effects does it have on your brain? Brain caffeine? Start by explaining why coffee has become such a widely consumed and addictive drink throughout the world. Coffee contains a substance in its composition that makes it a widely consumed drink. This substance is caffeine. Caffeine is a natural alkaloid found in the grain of coffee with stimulating properties for the nervous system. That is, when caffeine reaches our brain, it will increase our tension and put us on alert. But you should know that in addition to caffeine, coffee also contains certain very substances. Can it delay aging? Beneficial for the body, coffee is also very rich in antioxidants, substances that, if consumed regularly, can help you delay premature aging of the skin and reduce the risk of suffering from certain types of cancer and degenerative diseases. The natural antioxidants contained in coffee are responsible for eliminating free radicals. Free radicals are harmful substances that are created during the body's metabolism. These substances have the ability to oxidize and damage cellular DNA and increase the risk of suffering from different degenerative diseases. Well, the antioxidants contained in coffee are to be in charge of eliminating these free radicals and increasing our life expectancy and combating premature aging. Another question: does blood pressure go up? What are you probably wondering? Can drinking coffee increase our blood pressure? Let's see. According to studies, drinking coffee can increase our blood pressure in a timely manner. That is, in the first 30 minutes after consumption. In addition, it does not raise blood pressure or not. It will also depend on the tolerance and sensitivity we have to caffeine. That is, in the long term, coffee consumption will not cause us an illness like hypertension. And if I already have established hypertension, can I consume coffee? Everything will depend on sensitivity and tolerance to caffeine if we are used to consuming coffee every day. It is likely that even if we have hypertension, caffeine does not increase our blood pressure level. And we continue with more questions. Can it relieve headaches? Related to coffee consumption, it is true that coffee consumption can reduce headaches according to the latest studies. Consuming coffee can relieve headaches, but we must be extremely careful because everything will depend on the amount of caffeine we consume. To consume, according to studies, caffeine in low doses is capable of relieving headaches, but if we abuse it, it will produce the opposite effect. Abusing caffeine can make the headache even worse. For this reason, if you have migraines or headaches, it is advisable to consume a small cup of coffee. Another question: how many people ask, can I drink coffee with gastritis, reflux, or heartburn? Can I consume coffee if I have any ailments such as gastritis, reflux, or heartburn? The answer to this question is simple. You should not consume coffee if you suffer from any gastric or reflux ailment. Coffee is a substance that stimulates the production of hydrochloric acid in the stomach. This increase in acid can worsen problems such as reflux or gastritis, and over time cause serious consequences such as the appearance of a gastric ulcer. So be very careful with coffee. Let's now talk about decaffeinated coffee. Many people ask if decaffeinated coffee has the same properties as normal coffee. I'm sorry to say, but decaffeinated coffee does not have the same properties as normal coffee, since many of its properties and benefits are linked to caffeine. Even decaffeinated, it is still rich in natural antioxidants, and it will help you prevent degenerative diseases and certain types of cancer, in addition to also helping you delay premature aging of the skin. Now I am going to explain how much caffeine is consumed per day. The safe amount of caffeine that we can consume per day, according to studies, to avoid all the side effects of caffeine, we must consume 5.7 milligrams of caffeine per kilogram of body weight. That is, a person weighing 70 kilos should not exceed 400 milligrams of caffeine per day. If a cup of coffee contains 80 milligrams of caffeine, a 70-kilo person should not consume more than 5 cups of coffee over 24 hours. Fine, but what happens if we are very sensitive to caffeine, or we exceed the recommended dose of caffeine? Side effects of coffee. We are going to see all the side effects that caffeine can have for your body. The first side effect we have already seen, and it is that it will stimulate the production of acid in your stomach, and it will worsen a large number of digestive diseases such as reflux or heartburn. Another of the negative effects that caffeine has is well known and is insomnia. Does coffee alter sleep? It has been discovered that the habitual consumption of coffee over time can end up deteriorating the quality of our sleep. If you frequently have problems sleeping, it is best to avoid caffeine. It has also been discovered. Can I drink coffee with heart disease? People who are very sensitive to caffeine can suffer from various heart conditions, such as palpitations, increased heart rate, and even arrhythmias. So you should be extremely careful if you suffer from heart disease. If you have a heart problem and are very sensitive to caffeine, you should never consume it. We must also be careful if you have urination problems. Special care with coffee if we are people who have problems with the frequency of urination. If we urinate more times than normal daily, or we get up a lot at night to urinate, we must be careful with coffee consumption, because caffeine is a substance with great diuretic properties and will increase the frequency with which we go to the bathroom to urinate. And finally, to finish this video, I have left the most interesting question. Is it true that coffee can cause addiction? The answer is yes. Long-term caffeine in our brain can cause addiction and tolerance. In other words, to achieve that state of alert that caffeine provides us, we will need increasingly larger doses. In regular coffee drinkers, and suddenly we stop, we are going to suffer a small withdrawal syndrome. We are going to suffer symptoms such as levitation, lack of sleep, or headaches. If we want to stop consuming coffee, it is best to do it gradually and consume each less amounts of caffeine. Here is another video from my channel that I'm sure you will be interested in. Thank you very much for watching this.